What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the Bit of Footy YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be running through my round 15 AFL tips, as well as having a look at how I did back in round 14. So let's see how I did back then. Alright, here we go. This is how I did back in round 14. I got a total of 3 out of 6 tips correct. I tipped the Power to beat the Cats. I got that tip correct. I tipped the Lions to beat the Swans. I got that tip correct. I tipped the Dockers to beat the Giants, and I didn't get that tip correct. I tipped the Saints to beat the Tigers, and I didn't get that tip correct either. And then on the Sunday, I tipped the Suns to beat the Blues. I didn't get that tip correct. And then the last game of the round, I tipped the Dogs to beat the Roos, and I got that tip correct. Having a look at my own tipping comp, I'm currently in 24th spot out of 37 participants, and I'm on a total of 74 points. In first spot in my own tipping comp, we have got Kev's Magpies, is on a total of 87 points and got a total of 5 out of 6 tips last round. So fair play to Kev. But without further ado, let's take a look at my round 15 AFL tips. Alright, kicking off round 15, we've got the Thursday night game between Geelong and Melbourne at GMHBA Stadium. What a clash this will be. The Cats are coming off that loss to the Power, while the D's are coming off that win to my Pies. I'm going to be backing in the D's to win this game at GMHBA. I know it is at the Cattery, and the Cats, you know, they're very good at home. But, you know, I just feel like the Cats, they just haven't been to their best this season. They haven't been playing their best footy this season. And I feel like the D's, even though they've got a couple of losses, they've still been very competitive in their games. I mean, they've won their last 3 out of their last 5 games. And the 2 games that they've lost, they've only lost by margins of 7 points and 4 points. So I think the D's have just been playing a little bit better footy than the Cats this season. Like I said, I know it's at the Cattery and the Cats play very well at home, but I think the D's are going to go to the Cattery and get the 4 points. So yeah, I'm backing in the D's to win this one. I do think it's going to be a close game, so I'm going to be backing in the D's. We'll say by a margin of 8 points at the Cattery. Next up, we've got the Friday night game between St Kilda and Brisbane. The Saints are coming off that loss to the Tigers, while the Lions are coming off that win against the Swans. This is going to be a cracking matchup. It's 5th versus 4th currently on the ladder. It's at Marvel Stadium, so I think the Saints could have a chance at winning. And I know, like, the Lions, they haven't been the best away from home this season, but I do think the Lions are going to be good enough to get the job done over the Saints. I really feel like it's just going to be the midfield. It's going to be the midfield that is going to win the game for the Lions this one. I just feel like the Lions have a bit of a stronger midfield than the Saints. I do still think the Saints midfield is very competitive, but I think the Lions are just going to win it out the midfield a lot more than the Saints, and it's going to give their forwards. And we know the Lions have, you know, a very dangerous forward line. So yeah, I feel like the Lions midfielders are going to, you know, win a lot of the midfield battles and give their forwards a lot more opportunity than the Saints forwards. I do think it's still going to be a very close game, but yeah, I still think the Lions are going to be able to get the job done in this game over the Saints. Next up, we move on to the Saturday games, kicking off with the Swans taking on the Eagles at the SCG. The Swans are coming off that loss against the Lions, while the Eagles are coming off that quite big loss against the Crows. I'm obviously going to be backing in the Swans to beat the Eagles in this game. It's at the SCG as well. You know, the Swans, they probably haven't been playing their best footy this season. Well, not probably. I do reckon they haven't been playing their best footy this season. But they've still been very competitive in games. I mean, they only lost to the Lions at the Gabba by a margin of 16 points. They were very competitive in that game. And they managed to stay in that game for the majority of the game against the Lions. So yeah, I do think they're going to be able to beat the Eagles in this one. Listen, I do hope the Eagles played better than they did against the Crows last round, or whenever they played the Crows. And hopefully they don't get, beaten by 100 points, and they can be a lot more competitive in this game than they were against the Crows. But yeah, I still think the Swans will get the job done over the Eagles in this one. Next up, we've got the Dockers taking on the Bombers at Optus Stadium on Saturday night. The Dockers are coming off that pretty big loss against the Giants last round. Well, the Dons are coming off their 4th win in a row, and it was against the Blues. Yeah, this is going to be a very entertaining game. I think the Dockers are going to have a lot to prove this game. I think, they wouldn't want to lose 3 games in a row, and I reckon they're going to, come out firing and want to prove themselves after the disappointing loss last round against the Giants. But in saying that, I do think the Bombers are going to win this game. The Bombers, they're on a bit of a hot streak at the moment. And yeah, I do think they're going to take it out over the Dockers. I just feel like the Bombers are playing some very good footy at the moment, where the Dockers, they can be a bit up and down. They have been this season. So yeah, I think the Bombers, they're going to win their 5th game in a row. Maybe cause a little bit of an upset, considering this game is at Optus Stadium as well. So yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Bombers to beat the Dockers at Optus Stadium in this one. Moving on to the Sunday games, kicking it off with with my Pies taking on the Crows at the MCG, 1:10 p.m. Hopefully the sun is shining in this one, because I will be there watching the game live, supporting my Pies. My Pies are coming off a loss against the D's. Well, the Crows are coming off a big win against the Eagles. Obviously, both of these teams are coming off the bye as well. So it's going to be a very entertaining game to watch live. I can't wait to be there on the Sunday supporting my Pies. And I'm obviously going to be backing in my Pies to get the job done over the Crows. We got the job done over the Crows in Adelaide, and I thought that was, that was a very big win. It was a very stressful win as well, winning by the 1 point in the end. This time it's at the MCG, the home of my Pies. I do still think it's going to be a very tightly contested game, a very competitive game, and I can sort of see, maybe the margin in the end will be a close one as well, because the Crows, they have been majorly competitive this season. They've been playing some very good footy this season as well. But yeah, I think my Pies, they would want to bounce back from that loss against the D's and get back on the winners list. So I think that's going to happen. So yeah, I'm backing in my Pies to beat the Crows at the MCG. And the last game of the round, we've got the Suns taking on the Hawks at Heritage Bank Stadium. Yeah, the Suns are coming off that big loss against the Blues. Well, the Hawks are coming off a win against the Lions, and they're also coming off the bye as well, Hawthorn. Yeah, I do think this is going to be a very good game to watch. I think the Suns will want to bounce back from that loss against the Blues. But I think the Hawks, they've been playing some pretty decent footy as of late. They've won their last 3 out of their last 5 games, but so have the Suns as well. So yeah, it's going to be a very good and entertaining game to watch, I reckon, this one. But I do think the Suns at home are going to bounce back after that. Are going to bounce back from that loss against the Blues last round, and they're going to get the job done over the Hawks. I don't think the Suns are going to win by a very close margin. I reckon it could be a single-figure margin the Suns win by, if they do get the job done anyway. But yeah, either way, I do think it's going to be a very entertaining, a very tightly contested game of footy. But yeah, I'm going to be backing in the Suns to get the job done over the Hawks in this one. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my round 15 tips done and dusted. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your round 15 tips in the comments below. And yeah, I'll catch you in another video very soon. Cheers.